chapter 14. Does anyone remember what we read yesterday?
Hare Krishna.
Right.
Narad Muni was saying that Grahastha life should contribute for promoting Krishna consciousness, and everyone is benefited and can go back to Godhead. And then we also mentioned about that how a Grahastha should treat the animals also like his children, because they are also part and parcel of God, but we are killing them. And then Prabhupada explained that this verse, the last verse that we read, was a real communism. That means that everyone is treated equally because all are living entities, they're part and parcel of Krishna. So this, and then you also mentioned that this world is yat yat vipadam. So the early we get out of it, it is better for us. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, text 10. Trivargam nati krichrena
Trivargamnati kritrena
bhajeta grahameti ape
jeta grahameti api
yatha desham yatha kalam
yatha desham yatha kalam
yavad papaditam.
yavadevo papaditam.
Even if one is a householder rather than a brahmachari, a sannyasi or a vanaprasth, one should not endeavor very hard for religiosity, economic development, or satisfaction of the senses. Even in householder life, one should be satisfied to maintain body and soul together with whatever is available with minimum endeavor according to place and time by the grace of the Lord. One should not engage oneself in ugra karma. Okay, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. In human life, there are four principles to be fulfilled: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. First, one should be religious, observing various rules and regulations. And then one must earn some money for maintenance of his family and the satisfaction of his senses. The most important ceremony for sense gratification is marriage, because sexual intercourse is one of the principal necessities of the material body. Yan maitunadi grahamedi sukhamitucham. Although sexual intercourse is not a very exalted requisite in life, both animals and men require some sense gratification because of material propensities. One should be satisfied with married life and not expend energy for extra sense gratification or sex life. As for economic development, the responsibility for this should be entrusted mainly to the Vaishyas and Grihasthas. Human society should be divided into Varnas and Ashramas: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grahasth, Vanaprasth, and Sannyas. Economic development is necessary for Grihasthas. Brahman Grihasthas should be satisfied with a life of Adhyayan, Adhyapan, Yajan, and Yajan, being learned scholars, teaching others to be scholars, learning how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, and also teaching others how to worship Lord Vishnu or even the demigods. A Brahman should do this without remuneration, but he's allowed to accept charity from a person whom he teaches how to be a human being. So Narad Muni here is speaking that, we do have our senses, and so we do need some degree of sense gratification. So we should be satisfied. For example, Prabhupada is explaining that the grahas life, The money is required. So one man makes money, and then sex life is required. So one gets married, and then one should be satisfied with what one is getting. One should be satisfied in marriage life. One should be satisfied with their money. Then again, going on for Brahman specifically, is said that Brahman, he can accept donation. He's teaching to others how to worship the deity, or he's teaching from the scriptures. So he can accept donation in return for his services, because after all, he also has to maintain his body, he has to live somehow or the other. So by teaching others, not charging a salary, but accepting a donation. So then, as for the Kshatriyas, they are supposed to be the kings of the land, and the land should be distributed to the Vaishyas for agricultural activities, cow protection, and trade. Shudras must work sometimes. They should engage in occupational duties such as cloth manufacturers, weavers, blacksmiths, goldsmiths, brassmiths, and so on, or else they should engage in hard labor to produce food grains. So we heard the Brahman, he's teaching, and that's how he's maintaining Kshatriyas. They are the owners of the land, the kings, and they can give this land to the Vaishyas. And the Vaishyas can develop the land, grow some crops on it, graze the cows. So agriculture and cow protection, and of course trade also. And then Shudras are the workers. They're working in the fields, or they are the goldsmiths or the blacksmiths, weavers, yeah, something like the factory people.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. And so, like the four principles, Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha, how is it relating to the four different castes? I mean, Kshatriya, Grahastha. I mean, are they to be implemented in these?
So,
So
for
I'm just
example,
wondering.
religious principles everyone has to follow. So that
Yeah,
becomes dharma, right? Then
right.
artha, economic development, for example, how to maintain the body. So brahmanas are going to get some donation in return for what they are teaching. The kings are going to collect taxes from the Vaishyas because they're giving the land out. The Vaishyas are going to develop the land, grow some crops, So like that, there's economic development. The Shudra also
So
has
that comes under
economic development.
Artha.
Artha, yeah.
Artha.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's economic development. So then with economic development, they'll have some money, they'll have resources for sense enjoyment. And then, of course, actually the aim is supposed to be moksha. So they at the same time they're doing the duties, but they also need to understand, okay, we are not the body, we are the soul, and also engage in some sort of spiritual activity.
So Kam comes what way? Dharma, Artha, Kam.
Calm,
Kam
sense
is
gratification.
self gratification.
Yeah.
So that is not for the Brahmanas
But
and
some sort
yes,
of sense gratification even the Brahmanas will need.
will have.
So for example, the Brahmanas also do get married. They also are grihastas, the Brahmanas. It's the sannyasis who give up they renounce the world. That is the sannyasi. But when one is in the grihast life, then they will be having regulated sense gratification.
Mm.
And they will indulge in dharma, artha, kama, moksha mainly. Because brahmachari, vanaprastha and sannyas, they are more aimed towards moksha, right?
Mm.
Those three are more aimed towards spiritual emancipation, developing spiritual knowledge, engaging in spiritual activities. In Grihast life, one can earn money, one can have some sort of sense enjoyment like that.
I think when we read much earlier about this Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha, it was mentioned, I think you only had mentioned that these principles don't need to be followed. The aim
Actually,
should be only, right,
yes,
to
Bhagavatam,
please the
yeah,
Lord. Bhagavatam, right? Yeah,
yeah,
much, yeah,
that's
long time,
right. That's right. The
right?
second verse of Bhagavatam already
Yeah,
says that all this is cheating religion, Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. And
right.
Bhagavatam immediately rejects all this. Bhagavatam is
Bhagavatam.
saying, engage in devotional service and work for the pleasure of Krishna. That's what Bhagavatam is teaching.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
engage in devotional service.
Engage in it.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the different occupational duties by which men should earn their livelihood, and in this way human society should be simple. At the present moment, however, everyone is engaged in technological advancement, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as Ugra Karma, extremely severe endeavor. We can see now 50 years ago and now the technological advancement is even more. And Bhagavad Gita is calling this Ugra Karma, extreme severe endeavor. This Ugra Karma is the cause of agitation within the human mind. Men are engaging in many sinful activities and becoming degraded by opening slaughterhouses, breweries, and cigarette factories, as well as nightclubs and other establishments for sense enjoyment. In this way, they are spoiling their lives. In all of these activities, of course, householders are involved, and therefore it is advised here with the use of the word api that even though one is a householder, one should not engage himself in severe hardships. One's means of livelihood should be extremely simple. As for those who are not grihasthas, the brahmacharis, vanapras, and sannyasis, they don't have to do anything but strive for advancement in spiritual life. This means that three-fourths of the entire population should stop sense gratification and simply be engaged in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. So, as we were just discussing, right, that the grahast, they are engaging in dharma, arth, kam, moksha, but the sannyasi, the brahmachari, vanapras, they are concerned only with devotional service. But of course, Bhagavatam is telling us also, grihasthas also, just engage in devotional service, work for the pleasure of Krishna. So only 1/4 of the population should be grahast, and that should be according to the laws of restricted sense gratification. The grahasthas, vanapras, brahmacharis, and sannyasis should endeavor together with their total energy to become Krishna conscious. So actually, there was always cooperation between all the varnas and ashrams. In the Vedic society, it was not that one was fighting with the other, rather, they were cooperating with each other, helping each other to live peacefully and at the same time to advance spiritually. This type of civilization is called Deva Varnashram. One of the objectives of the Krishna consciousness movement is to establish this Deva Varnashram, but not to encourage so-called Varnashram without scientifically organized endeavor by human society. So Deva Varnashram means keeping Krishna in the center. And then one does whatever activity one is naturally inclined to do. One is naturally inclined to teach, so he can become a Brahman, but then he teaches from scriptures. He's a devotee of Krishna. Or one is a Kshatriya, has great organizational qualities. Then that is like a Kshatriya, administration, management, leadership. but always keeping Krishna in the center. So that becomes Devi Varnashram. And Srila Prabhupada wanted this Devi Varnashram to be there because we have natural tendencies by which we act. So how to work with those natural tendencies at the same time, but we work for Krishna's pleasure. So that everyone can be engaged in some work as per one's own capacity, one's own inclination, and also advance spiritually. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna, Shilpaji. So in this, what they're trying to tell is that how a grahastha in all the four varnas should behave, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Mm. Okay. Ashwagandhe vya no vyasaibhya
Ashwagandhi avasayibhya
kaman samvibhajet yatha
kaman samvibhajet yatha
Samvijayata
api ekam atmano dharam
api
api
ekam
ekam
atmanodharam
atmanodharam
nirnam svatva graho yataha.
Nirnam
nirnam svatva graho
Sattvagraho
yatah.
Yatah.
Dogs, fallen persons, and untouchables, including chandalas, dog eaters, should all be maintained with their proper necessities, which should be contributed by the householders. Even one's wife at home, with whom one is most intimately attached, should be offered for the reception of guests and people in general. Although in modern society the dog is accepted as part of one's household paraphernalia, in the Vedic system of household life, the dog is untouchable. As mentioned here, a dog may be maintained with proper food, but it cannot be allowed to enter one's house, or to speak of the bedroom. So in Vedic society, the dogs were always kept outside the house. Outcasts or untouchable chandalas should also be provided with the necessities of life. So Narad Muni is saying that the grahast should make sure he should feed the dogs also. He should feed the chandalas, outcasts, anyone, everyone should be maintained. The word used in this connection is yatha, which means as much as deserved. The outcast should not be given money with which to indulge in more than they need, for otherwise they will misuse it. So usually food used to be given, or clothes, whatever necessities was needed. Because if money was given, then they would not know how to spend the money properly. Maybe they would spend it all on alcohol or something, not even give the money back to their wife. So that's why usually food would be given, clothes, yeah, things like that. At the present moment, for example, low-class men are generally paid quite amply, but instead of using their money to cultivate knowledge and advance in life, such low-class men use their extra money for wine drinking and similar sinful activities. As mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 4.13, Chaturvarnya Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. There must be 4 divisions of human society according to the work and qualities of men. Men with the lowest qualities cannot do any work that requires higher intelligence. However, although such a division of men must exist according to their quality and work, it is suggested herewith that everyone must have the necessities of life. So based on our own psychophysical nature, like, what's our natural inclination, where is our consciousness, basically, what qualities we are controlled by. That's how this divisions was made, right? Okay. So actually, although now Varnashrama system does not exist, but we still, each of us has a particular tendency, a natural way to work, a natural tendency towards a certain type of work. Like certain people are naturally attracted to do trade, business, or farming, banking, or some are naturally inclined towards leadership or management, yeah, or teaching. Some are naturally inclined towards teaching, studying, or some are naturally inclined towards like mechanics, yeah, like fixing things. So it is there. The communists of the present day are in favor of supplying the necessities of life to everyone, but they consider only the human beings and not the lower animals. The Bhagavatam's principles are so broad, however, that it recommends that the necessities of life be supplied to everyone, man or animal, regardless of good or bad qualities. So it doesn't mean that if one has bad qualities, one does not have needs. We all have our needs. Basic necessities are needed by each and every one of us. Human beings, whichever category they are coming in, whichever class they're coming in, each of us have our basic needs. And not only human beings, but the animals also have their basic needs. And Bhagavatam is saying that we should recognize that even the animals have a right to have their needs fulfilled. The idea of giving even one's wife to the service of the public is that one's intimate relationship with his wife, or one's excessive attachment for his wife, by which one thinks his wife to be his better half or to be identical with himself, must gradually be given up, as formally suggested. The idea of ownership, even of one's family, must be abandoned. So Prabhupada is saying, Narad Muni is saying that the wife also should be engaged in the service of the guests, of other people. Prabhupada is explaining that is to lessen the attachment, because the attachment is so much, and then we are thinking each other as each other's property, mine, my family, my husband, my wife. But when we are engaged in serving others, then this kind of attachment can be reduced. And Prabhupada is saying it actually should be abandoned. The idea, not the family should be abandoned, but the idea of attachment should be abandoned. One needs to do the duties, whatever duties are there. One needs to be affectionate. One will be affectionate. It's very natural. But one has to give up the idea that they are mine, belongs to me. The dream of material life is the cause of bondage in the cycle of birth and death, and therefore one should give up this dream. Consequently, in the human form of life, one's attachment for his wife should be given up as suggested herein. So like in a dream, we create different situations, we are with different people. So similarly, our relationships here in the material world, they are like dream also, because they are for a short time. So they will be with us only for till the time we are in the body. Once we leave the body, then no matter how the sweet the relationship is, or how much attachment is there between one another, it has to go. It has to, because death will take us away from this body. Any comments or questions?
Shilpaji, so there was this one point that you mentioned that, like, if the service is done, right? If they're serving others, then the attachment will be less.
Mm-hmm.
If, right? You mentioned this point.
Yeah.
So that implied, like, if the grahasta's wife is doing, right? If the wife is serving welcoming the guest and serving them and everything, then then the attachment will be less for the husband towards the wife, or wife towards the husband, or both equally?
Both.
Both equally. Okay. Because
Yeah.
she's involving and other
Yeah.
things, and she's serving, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it doesn't apply to serving Krishna, right? No. Just serving the
Also,
guest.
of
Also. Okay.
course,
Yes. Yeah.
serving
That.
Krishna is the highest principle.
Mhm.
Serving Krishna is the highest principle. But here, because the principles of Varna Sharmas are only being explained, you know,
Okay. Okay.
that's why Narad
Okay.
Muni is just saying to that. Of course, one should think of one's husband or wife as servant of Krishna, and that is the best attachment that we can have.
Okay. Because it will be like, she'll be serving them with the prasadam when she's welcoming. So then
Yeah.
slowly and gradually, right? That
Yes,
also
that's the
connects here, right?
perfection. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
perfection.
Mm.
That one sees one's family members as part and parcel of Krishna, as Krishna's family instead of one's own family.
Yeah, so it means like serving the right way.
Serving the
People may
right
take
way.
it, people may take it in another way. Oh, I'm telling my wife to serve men.
Yeah, they might take in another
Yeah,
way. My God, so dangerous.
That's
yeah,
what, you know.
Mm.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, serving in the right way. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so today is Govardhan there?
Yeah, today's Govardhan here in the temple. Yeah.
People are going for the Govardhan?
Yes, hope so. Yeah. Planning to.
Very good. Very good. Would somebody like to speak very quickly about the Govardhan?
Please, if you could speak, it
What
will
have
be
you
a
been
nectar.
hearing? What have you been
Yeah,
hearing
we want to
recently?
hear from you.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. It will be a nectar.
That's
Okay, a little bit what I heard recently, Govardhan. He's called Haridas Varya. Haridas Varya is the best of the servants of Lord Hari. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj is also called Haridas. Prahlad Maharaj is called Haridas. Uddhav is called Haridas, like servants of Krishna, right? But Govardhan is called Haridas Varya. The gopis say there is Haridas Varya, Govardhan. He's the best servant of Krishna. He's serving Krishna. He's providing soft grass for the cows, while nectarian water. There were so many waterfalls before. Nectarian water for the cows. He's providing so many, what do you say, arrangements for the gopas to have their games there, to play hide and seek, their caves and their benches to sit, their trees to climb on. There's so many fruits and flowers. And then with the gopis, also Krishna has many pastime places in Govardhan. Radha Kund, Shyam Kund come in Govardhan. Yeah. So he's serving, Govardhan is serving all the Brajbasis. And he's called Haridas Varya, best servant of Krishna. So Krishna was telling Radharani that, I have to go to this earth planet and you come to me. And Radharani says, I'm not going to go. And Krishna says, no, come on, you have to come. And Radharani says, oh, if I have to go, then Vrindavan has to come, Yamuna has to come, Govardhan has to come. Only then I will go. Krishna says, yeah, they are there already. Arrangement is there. So Govardhan was there. And then there was this Muni, Pulatsya Muni. He was passing by and he saw Govardhan. And he said, he was a yogi actually. So he was thinking it'll be so nice. I can have this mountain. I can do my meditation. There's so much trees to give me shelter. There is fruits. There's water. It's a very nice, pleasing atmosphere here. I want to take him to Varanasi. So he asks Dronachal. He asks his father, Govardhan's father, when Govardhan came to the earth. This is when he came to the earth. So he asked Dronachal, give me your son, I want him. I'm going to take him to Varanasi because I'm going to do my meditation over there. So of course Dronachal is very sad, but Pulatsya Muni is a yogi, he can't refuse, So he says, okay. And when Govardhan says, I have one condition. I have one condition. Does anyone remember the condition?
Wherever you will put me, I'll remain there. You have to
Yeah,
carry.
yeah, that's right. So Pulatsya Muni was, by his yogic power, he was carrying the mountain. He was so strong. Imagine, he's a yogi. He was not strong physically, but he was strong with his yogic powers, and he was taking the mountain. And Govardhan said, this is Vrindavan. I need to be here. So he made himself heavy, and somehow he made that Pulatsya Muni had to go to the toilet. He had to answer the call of nature. So he put him down and he went to finish his business, came back. And he tried to pick up Govardhan. He couldn't lift Govardhan. And he said, what happened? Hey, we still have to go. We are not yet to Varanasi. Come on, let's go. Govardhan said, sorry, our condition was if you put me down, wherever you put me down, I can't move. And Pulatsya Muni was he was like so irritated that I did so much effort. I was coming all the way. He said, I'm going to curse you now. When the curse is that you're going to reduce by your size will reduce every day by the size of one mustard seed. So Govardhan before actually was very enormous. When Krishna lifted Govardhan, it was huge. Now we see Govardhan is much smaller. And Govardhan is going to keep on getting smaller and smaller. And of course, one day he's going to become unmanifest to our material eyes. Like all Krishna's pastime places will get covered up again. So Govardhan somehow he got this curse. And on Diwali day, the next day of Diwali always used to be Indra Puja. Everybody was busy doing the Indra Puja. Krishna wanted to reduce the pride of his devotee Indra. So he was telling his father, Baba, why are you doing this? What is this? Oh no, nothing, you will not understand. No, tell me, what are you doing? Oh, we are gonna do puja for Indra. Oh, why we are doing puja? Because he provides us rains. Our cows, we need these rains to have soft grass so that our cows can give us milk. Our whole economy works on that. No, but you don't need to pray to Indra for that. The rains are also falling in the ocean. The ocean is not doing any puja. And Krishna gives the karma mimamsa philosophy to them that you do as your karma, you're going to get the result of that karma. So he was trying to tell Nanda Baba, no need to do. Nanda Baba said, no, we have to do it. So then Krishna is like, okay, tell me which scriptures are you following? Is it coming from the scriptures you're doing this? Or is it just some traditional puja which is coming since many, many generations and that's why you're doing it? Because Krishna was also setting a standard that we can ask that in which scripture is written that you have to do this kind of puja, or is it just a family tradition? So then Nanda Baba says, okay, Baba, we'll do Govardhan. And Krishna was saying, you do puja to Govardhan. Govardhan is providing us what not. Is sustaining us, giving us soft grass to our cows. Our cows are grazing there, giving us fresh water to drink, giving us this nutritious grains, and giving us this sumptuous, delicious fruits and vegetables, giving us all the minerals that we need. Govardhan was rich, no? All the minerals also there. So do Govardhan Puja. Okay, we'll do both the pujas. We'll do Indra Puja and Govardhan. No need to do Indra. Now, whatever you have cooked, now you offer everything to Govardhan. You make puris, make kachori, make samosa, make kheer, make sandesh. Krishna is very specific, and he makes sabjis, make chutneys, and offer all the food to Govardhan. And they actually do that. Nanda Baba is so amazed by his small boy. They actually do that. They all cook for Govardhan, and Govardhan appears. Krishna himself as Govardhan. Krishna is standing there. But Krishna manifests himself as Govardhan and eats all the offerings. And then everything is finished. And he says, Aniyor, Aniyor, give me more, give me more. And they cook more and they give him. And then he eats all of it. And he says, Aniyor, Aniyor. And they cook again and they're giving him again. And they're like, oh my God, what to do now? Krishna, please save us. All our supplies are finished. So then what to do? What is to be done? How to satisfy Govardhan?
A tulsi leaf was.
Yeah, that's right. They placed Tulsi for Govardhan. Govardhan accepted that and he was like, I'm completely satisfied. And all that he had eaten, he brought it back for everyone else to accept, to have it as Mahaprasad. Then Krishna told everybody, okay, now all the women get inside the bullock carts, all the men. He arranged a procession for everyone to do parikram of Govardhan. And they had a beautiful parikram of Govardhan, singing, kirtan, dancing. Everyone was doing the parikram. Even the children were there, the women, the men, the cows, the animals. Everyone did a beautiful parikram. And Krishna said, do Go Puja. And today is also Go Puja, where Mother Cow offered Aarti is offered to Mother Cow. And so Krishna set the standard. The Annakut ceremony is celebrated very beautifully in all the temples. So please try to visit the temple. Then Indra got, of course, upset. His worship was stopped. He got so irritated. You're worshipping Govardhan. You're not worshipping me. What's happening? He sent this Samvartaka clouds, which are meant for at the time of destruction. And he sent torrents and torrents of rain. He said, I'm going to kill all these cows and the Brajavasis. And he sent torrents of rain. Everyone ran to Krishna. Krishna, please save us. And Krishna lifted Govardhan on which hand did he lift Govardhan with?
Left hand.
Pinky. Yeah,
Yeah, the pinky of the left hand. Yeah, pinky of left hand. For how many days?
7 days.
7 days. And how many nights?
7 nights.
Yeah, 7 days, 7 nights. And all the Brajbasis were there. And Krishna was looking at the Brajbasis. The Brajbasis are looking at them because they also had a desire that we want to be with Krishna all the time. Otherwise, Krishna would go back home in the night to his own house. So like this, their desire, Krishna is also fulfilling. So we can see Krishna does so many things by one pastime. He's breaking Indra's pride, and he's also fulfilling the desire of his devotees who want to be with him. And Indra realizes, my God, 7 days, 7 nights, what's happening? Something must be wrong. Then occurred to him, oh my God, this is my Lord himself. And he was so scared. He went to Brahmaji, what shall I do? I'm really scared. I don't know what to do. I've done a terrible, terrible offense. Brahmaji says, okay, you go to Krishna, but don't go by yourself. Take Surabhi cow with you. So Indra takes Surabhi cow. He does Abhishek of Krishna with Surabhi cow's milk. Yeah. So he also then realizes, oh, this is my master. This is my Lord himself. He understands that. So today in the temples, there will be parikram also, like how the Brajavasis did the parikram. So the devotees also go around the Govardhan And that is as good as going around Govardhan in Vrindavan. In the temple we do parikram is barely a minute or two. And that is as good as doing the parikram of this 22 kilometers or what? I think it's about 22, 23 kilometers. So take advantage of it. And this is the most auspicious month of Kartik, so additional benefit. Yeah. Giri Govardhan ki jai. Girivardhari ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm sorry I went
Hare
over time.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yes. So